So Lex and I have been friends, well, since I was born, you know?
Okay.
So her mom and my mom are best friends. And so we've known each other all of our lives.
We're literally like a mini them.
And one day we went to dinner with our parents and we're just sitting there, we were venting to each other and we're like, oh my God, you know, it's so difficult, not only being single, but being the only single girl in your friend group because you don't really have somebody to hang out with all the time. So we made a pact that night and we were like, okay, every Friday we're gonna go out and even if it's just to get dressed.
Do something.
Yeah, just go to dinner, something. We're gonna do it so that we're out of the house and not, you know, sitting home alone. And so that's how Single Girl Fridays started for us. And then when we were out, we kept running into other girls and they were like, oh, can I join you? I'm newly single or whatever their story was. And then one day, it was honestly so just perfect. Like we just FaceTime each other and we both go at the same time, I have an idea. And we're like, should we make a community?
Because like we know we're not the only girls going through this. Because like you see like Sex in the City and like you see the shows where like there's this group of girlfriends that they all go out and they're all single. And it's like, that's not the reality for a lot of girls. A lot of girls, they're the only one, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
And you want to go out to meet guys maybe, but like you have no one to go with. So that's how we started this because we're like, there's got to be other girls dealing with this too. We can create this community and they can feel comfortable to go out with us and then they can build friends that are in the same stage of their life as they are.
Mr. Mac. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stay Tranquilo Podcast. We have a kind of a different feel today. We have some ladies on the podcast, which is not normal. We have Olivia and Alexa here who are part of Single Girl Fridays, which I'm sure you've seen them everywhere on social media. They have their own podcast of themselves, so please introduce you guys. And
You want to go first?
Sure. So my name's Alexa. I'm from Miami. I went to school. I'm a public school girl. I went to Palmetto and then I went to FIU.
What's up?
Yes. And so right now I work, I do digital marketing for a commercial lender.
Okay.
And then I do this on the side. So this is like the passion project and that's like the full-time job.
Very
The
cool.
passion project that eventually will become the
the
real
full-time
project.
job. Yeah, exactly.
I'm Olivia. I was born and raised in Miami as well. Went to LaSalle for high school, UM for college. Studied broadcast journalism, so that's why I love, the podcast and editing and all of that. I do social media, content creation, so I do it for myself, and then I'm also a social media manager and digital marketing, position with other clients, and I do SGF, and I love it. It's so much fun, and it's just kind of everything into one, which is the best.
That's awesome. Now you could definitely see the passion that you guys have behind it, which
Thank you.
I feel is something that I definitely always appreciate to see because I'm very passionate about what I do, and it's not an easy thing to do. Like you guys said, both of you work jobs on the side as well, so it's not a full-time, and it's not like we have all the time in the world. Like a full-time job requires a lot of attention as it is. So to be able to do both is tough. And I do want to get into that a little bit deeper later on the pod about how you guys do that, because I think a lot of people have the fear of starting something of their own, but don't know how, between time or like, why am I going to start this? Like, no one's going to, no one's going to listen to this, right? Like, those are all relevant things. So I do want to get into that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about Single Girl Fridays. Like, what is it, one, and two, how did it even come about?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take away the spiel?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, we can jump off of each other. But so Lex and I have been friends, well, since I was born,
Yeah.
Okay.
So her mom and my mom are best friends. And so we've known each other all of our lives.
We're literally like a mini them. Like whenever
No,
we go out and
literally.
we're walking around, we're like little Maribel and Linda.
Yeah. And we ended up being the only single girls in our friend groups, separate friend groups. And one day we went to dinner with our parents and we're just sitting there, we were venting to each other and we're like, oh my God, it's so difficult, not only being single, but being the only single girl in your friend group because you don't really have somebody to hang out with all the time. You're not gonna be the third wheel every Friday.
Right.
So we made a pact that night and we were like, okay, every Friday we're gonna go out and even if it's just to get dressed.
Do something.
Yeah, just go to dinner, something. We're gonna do it so that we're out of the house and not, sitting home alone. And so that's how Single Girl Fridays started for us. And then when we were out, we kept running into other girls and they were like, oh, can I join you? I'm newly single or whatever their story was. And then one day, it was honestly so just perfect. Like we just FaceTime each other and we both go at the same time, I have an idea. And we're like, should we make a community?
Because like we know we're not the only girls going through this. Because like you see like Sex in the City and like you see the shows where like there's this group of girlfriends that they all go out and they're all single. And it's like, that's not the reality for a lot of girls. A lot of girls, they're the only one, especially as you get older.
Yeah.
And you want to go out to meet guys maybe, but like you have no one to go with. So that's how we started this because we're like, there's got to be other girls dealing with this too. We can create this community and they can feel comfortable to go out with us and then they can build friends that are in the same stage of their life as they are.
Yeah. So
That's how we started.
our original thought was we knew we wanted events.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they were the only single girls in their group, we're like, okay, realistically, that's very intimidating to go to an event by yourself. So we wanted a way that they would feel connected to us. So that's how the podcast idea came about.
Very cool.
And we figured, okay, like, if we sit there every week and we talk to them and we talk about the things that we're going through, then they'll feel connected and they'll feel like they have friends when they go to these events.
Right.
And it's been pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very fun.
yeah, and it's really cool seeing the community come together.
How long have you guys been doing it now?
It'll be a year.
In
A year?
October.
Wow.
I thought it was November. November or October?
Well, on your mom's birthday, September,
Okay.
was when the idea came about, and the first podcast was maybe November because it was
Yeah.
after we went on our trip.
So it's almost our 1 year anniversary.
Holy cow.
We have to do like a big party.
Exciting.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I'm sure for you guys, it feels like the time has flown.
Yes, it does.
It feels like we still just started.
I know.
Especially because we do the events usually every month.
Okay.
So the year has
True.
flown. Because
Yeah.
I feel like one event's over and we're planning the next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the year has flown by.
So you guys have, since inception, you guys have done an event every single month?
I think we've skipped 1 month.
Yeah.
Right? 1 or 2?
One.
Only
Only one.
Yeah.
Which I forget which one it was. It was in between March.
Yeah, but other than
April.
that, we've done every month.
And
Yeah.
those events, are they like ticketed events? Like
Yes.
how
Yeah.
do those events work?
Our first event was not because we wanted to kind of get a feel for like, okay, what's the outcome gonna be? So that one was not ticketed, but ever since then they've been ticketed.
Okay.
Yeah.
got it. And
So
then
we-
you guys partner with like local bars, I'm assuming, event
Yeah.
spaces.
So we collaborate with different restaurants or bars, and depending on what capacity they limit us at,
Gotcha.
is how many tickets we end up selling. But so far it's been great. I mean, everybody's so receptive of the idea, so it's pretty cool to see how many people are open to working with us.
Yeah, and we're always blown away by the ticket sales.
Oh my God, I know. We always say we're so grateful for our
and it's
girls
all
and guys.
single girls.
Yeah.
Single girls and
We're getting
some
a few guys.
The guys are
Okay.
trickling in.
Well, I mean, it's like it's the same concept of like, I mean, not the same concept, but in terms of like a guy's perspective, right? Like if there's ladies' night and girls drink free, it's gonna bring the guys.
Yes.
If there's a single girl Fridays event, guys that are single are gonna probably want to go.
You
to
would
that event.
think. You would think.
We always say we put it on guys, if you're watching, we put it on a silver platter for them. Like it couldn't be any easier. And they don't show. We have a few, but like
We do.
maybe 5.
No, but I tell my brother, you need to get all your single guy friends.
Oh, and the
have
girls die.
The girls
because-
love them.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is not only do we hand it over on a silver platter, but the girls are such good quality girls.
Right.
I mean, like we're always blown away, and we're very lucky that the community that we're building truly. I love the girls that are a part of it. So you don't only get girls, but like good girls,
Yeah, exactly.
you know. So
Yeah, the guys are tough.
But
They're
hopefully
tough.
they'll hear about
let's
it,
get into
and
that.
you know.
Let's get into that actually. So what do you think is like the misconnection there? Like why aren't guys inclined to show up? Or I mean, because guys go out, obviously. Like every time I go out, there's plenty of dudes out there. But are they looking for a different experience maybe? Is it lack of awareness?
I don't know I mean, we've said this before, and girls love to talk, right?
Right.
So like you'll be at work and you'll tell your coworkers and you'll be like, oh, I'm going to this event, and they'll go with you. Like, I don't know if guys aren't the same, where they don't do, like, I don't know. The word
I think
of
I know
mouth
what it
with
is
guys.
too. At least like watching my brother and like me telling him, like I'll be like, please send this to your friends, because they end up really loving the events. The ones that have come, they're like, oh, I'm coming to the next one.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like guys are they decide at the last minute. They're not planners.
No.
So we sell the tickets, like the tickets honestly go pretty quickly, and it's mostly the girls or the guys that follow us that are already like aware of how it works.
Yeah.
For the other guys, if they're not aware, it's kind of like, oh, at the last minute, my brother will be texting me, oh, 5 of my guys want to come. I'm like, I can't do anything. I don't have any tickets to give you.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I think you hit it on like perfectly. Guys do not plan for sure.
unless it's sports, like
If
for
it's
a game.
sports, like I mean, like we already know what away game we're going to for
Exactly.
the Dolphins game. When it comes to sports, that's a different animal. Which is why we talked about the tailgate. Which
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to do
We're
That's a
it.
good
excited
one.
about that.
But yes, we're really bad when it comes to that. Like we have to like stumble upon it almost, like
Yeah.
or constantly be reminded that this is happening, because we're already thinking about God knows what, that we forget that event might be happening. Because I mean, even when we've had events that are like sport watch parties or whatever, happy hours, like people are always down, but their heads in a million places. I feel like if I don't text them the day before, they'll be like, holy cow, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
They need like constant reminders.
So you guys do events too?
Not as frequently,
Okay.
but yeah, like football season's big. Like we've done a couple tailgates. We've done watch parties for like the Masters, because we're big into golf.
Cool.
What else have we
We
done?
want to get into golf.
Yeah,
'Cause that's where
yes.
all the guys are. The golf course.
100%. And guys like girls that like golf.
Oh,
well, we got to learn.
we just need to learn.
It's simple.
it's
You don't have.
expensive.
It is. Trust me.
Like
Yeah,
I
I
need
know.
to get clubs.
No,
I thought I could
That's what I'm
borrow.
saying. You don't have to take it that far. You just most courses are going to be okay with you just tagging along. So I think
in the golf cart.
I know. I just want to drive.
you bring a little cooler. You bring your little bubblies or whatever it is that you guys like.
Hand them out.
And Noah, you drink them while if you want to hand them out. For sure. But no, you drink them while the guy plays usually. And then you take a couple swings in between if you're bold enough.
No, well,
to,
I'm down
do
to
it.
learn golf. I think it's such a cute
A lot
sport.
of girls are very open to the idea of golf, which is cool, because I don't think that happens in any other sport. Pickleball, I think maybe.
Pickleball too
Yeah.
is becoming.
But golf is cool. And like guys like the girls fits in golf, so like that's like the
Yeah, they
other
are pretty
thing.
cute.
They are cute.
So it makes sense. Like there's definitely something there. What
A
it is,
chef golf event?
Okay.
top golf.
I know.
Top, yes.
That's a
at
good
least
place
to
to like get
practice.
people. It's like it's not 9 holes that take 2 hours. There you're like kind of under an AC. You could stink,
pretty
and it's
nice,
okay,
yeah.
and it's nice to have a bar. So that could be a good one.
Yeah.
Guys like top golf too.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, I know. That's good though.
I
like
mean,
that.
like, so if you were a single guy and we had an event, would you go?
100%.
You would.
Yeah.
But are you like like you're outgoing?
I'm
Yeah, I
think-
feel like you have a
yeah.
I
great
think a lot of
personality.
them
Yeah.
maybe
I'm
are
a-
like intimidated or shy
Sometimes I'm
to
like
go.
a little too social. There's times where like I'm at the gym or something and I just start talking to like the viejito or somebody there that
Oh.
like I've become friends with by seeing them. Like
Oh, yeah.
I also don't work out like at big gyms. Like I work out at small gyms, so you get to know everyone, and I'll shake everyone's hand, and then they just like that, and then all of a sudden I'm 40 minutes there, and I haven't done anything.
That's me, but I see the gym's my social hour. I work from home,
that's fair. I don't know. I get that. Like sometimes I'm like headphones on, like do not talk to me.
Yeah.
But other times I really just want to be out there talking to everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God
That's
knows
a great
where.
way to be.
I know.
Yeah, no,
like
it
that
is.
too.
I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I for sure get that from my mom.
I was gonna say, every time I do that, I'm like, I sound like my mom.
My mom will talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
But then
crazy.
you see like their face light up. Like I love when you see someone in the elevator and they're like quiet looking down, and then you talk to them and all of a sudden they're like happy. You know, like you just made their day because like you were having a conversation with them.
I feel like if you're not a social person too, like your social battery is gonna like diminish really quickly when you try to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like that, and you're almost gonna come off as like a little fake. It's like, all right, this person clearly doesn't want to talk to me. Like you either are or you're not, and that's okay. And I think that's where you have to find people that, you know, align with who you are, essentially.
1000%.
Yeah. We've even thought of like making a Hinge profile.
Yes, but we're scared we're gonna get banned.
Yeah, but we'll try it.
But we're still gonna try. We're gonna try with her sister's phone number, who's married.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
How would that
trying to
even work?
find I don't know.
Put the flyer up for one of our events and just have it like if it was a girl.
Interesting.
I don't know,
I haven't
you
been
just-
on that in a while, so I don't know what it looks like now.
Lucky you. Lucky you guys.
But
How long have you been in a relationship?
I've been in a relationship now 3 years and change.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my longest relationship.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, before that it was like a year, and then before that I've only had 3 girlfriends.
Okay.
And now obviously like you're 28 years old, so things are very different in the way you go about your relationships. But yeah, 3 years.
Nice.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Time flies.
It does.
So
But
it's been a while for you, yeah.
It is.
Were you ever on the apps?
yeah, I use the Bumble, Hinge, and I think that's it.
Yeah. They've changed.
I've seen people show me them before a little bit. I know they have like a voice prompt now on Hinge or something like that.
They've changed,
I've seen
but
it on
the
TikTok,
quality.
like the guys like singing something.
No, I mean, I
Yes.
should show you some of the things on there. Like it's.
That would be a good segment
very
for you.
scary.
I'm sure you guys have probably done like on your pod.
We
like
did have the girls submit the craziest thing
Okay.
that they've been told
Yeah.
on Hinge because, you know, looks wise, we don't want to put anybody out there,
No, of course
you know.
not.
So
No, without showing anybody's
yeah,
profile.
so
Right.
for us it's more what's the craziest thing you've ever been told, and you'd be surprised.
Or seen, like the prompts are wild.
Or, like-
Sometimes I see the craziest things.
We also realized that some of us were all getting the same message about
Yeah,
our eyebrows being beautiful.
Copy and paste. But
Yeah.
Damn, exposed.
I mean, you have
Girls
some
talk.
good-
Of
you
course,
have-
no, you can't get away with it. I mean, I feel like you gotta diversify.
And something that
Yeah.
intricate, like
Yeah.
girls are gonna remember that and they're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
But
So basically, the eyebrows play was a good play, but now it's become an overused play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Unless we all have great eyebrows. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's fair too. That's fair too. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah. I feel like there's some things I want to say, but I feel like I can't say too. So no, all good. So before we get into more of like the dating style questions, I do want to ask you guys a little bit about how do you guys balance, you know, the SGF world and your personal, you know, life between work, friendships, everything, right? Because you guys do put a lot of time and effort. The events obviously take time. The podcast itself takes time, and you guys do everything. So how do you guys do all that?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough at times. Like I think when we're, for example, now we have an event on Friday and like it's a lot with work and things like that. But I'm very lucky in the sense that I work from home. So before COVID, I went into the office, but now I work from home, and it kind of gives me a little more flexibility. Like I'm not sitting in traffic and I don't get home until 6 p.m.
Right.
You know, like the second my call's over,
we're having a call.
Yeah. So it's easier to balance. I'm very lucky with that. And like we always say this, but we're a good team.
We
Like,
are a good team.
Things that I lack in, she helps me, and then vice versa.
Yeah, for sure. So I think for me, I'm very lucky in the sense that everything that I do, work-wise and this, is kind of combined. So for me, if I have a break in work, I can go straight into SGF, and it doesn't feel like such a crazy leap.
Okay.
And I know already, like, for example, I do the editing. So I know on Thursdays, like, my mornings are for editing, and I just am able to schedule it out that way. And I think finding a balance in the beginning was definitely difficult because we had so many ideas and we were just like running.
We've gotten into a groove.
Yes, we're finally in a groove that we also like help each other pick things up. So if there's a day that I'm really busy, I'll be like, Lex, can you please send this email or whatever? And if it's vice versa, I'll pick up the slack. So like we said, we're a really good team and we're very lucky to have each other. We always say that.
Because working with a friend, a family member, it can be tough. You know, like it can be a little dangerous for the relationship, but like we've been so lucky that it's worked out for us.
And I think too, like I mean, for me, I'll speak for myself because I think you agree, but
sure I do.
I always like going into it was like, okay, our friendship comes first because we're like sisters, you know, and
our moms.
Our moms.
Like, you better not because
don't mess this up.
So having that in mind also helps. And at the end of the day, we both know that even if we have like different opinions on something, we want the same outcome, which is like the best for our community and the girls and the brand. So we're like, I don't know, we just
we
work
have a common
together.
Goal.
We just work together.
It's funny because when I ask that question to a lot of people, there's a very common denominator, and it's about the collaboration and like the team aspect of it. Because the reality is, it's impossible to do it by yourself. Like you might try and you might try to do things, but like you said, someone's gonna have to pick up the slack somewhere. And then the other component is like you might have a strength that might not be yours, and you might have a strength that might be yours. And that's where you're able to really kind of make things happen, I think, because it is very tough to do things by yourself.
Like you said, it's impossible. Like we divide and conquer.
So Lex is definitely more logistics, you know, and would you say like the merch and the back end?
Kind of.
Yes, and like the more responsive one, like Olivia takes a while to respond to text. You know, like she's
sorry.
And like I'm super quick, so like I'll get this email, like I'll answer this, like I'll do that stuff. And then she handles all, like, she's great with the creative and all of that.
So
like,
I do like the branding and the graphics and editing reels. And that's what I love. And yes, I do take forever to answer. So, you know, it's just so much better when I have somebody who's willing to do it.
Maybe I'm too fast, you know?
So.
It's a good balance.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
What would you recommend if there's someone out there that wants to start their own podcast or their own, you know, little community of some capacity? What would you recommend or tell them?
I would say, I mean, people always say this, but just do it. And don't care. It's really hard to not care what people think. Like, oh, what are they going to say about me? These people from high school.
We dealt with that.
Yeah, but it's like, who cares? I always think like the people that I have on Instagram, and this is not to be mean or anything, but like if you really look through your followers, you genuinely like care and maybe speak to like a handful of them.
Yeah.
So why would you let those people affect the decisions that you make?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to do it, just do it.
For sure. And I think like, for us at least, we were so excited and sure of the idea that it helped.
I didn't even think about it, honestly.
Yeah, like it was just like, you know, we had some people that weren't as supportive, and it was like it was kind of like, oh wait, so you're gonna announce that you're single? And it's like, well, I mean, I am. You know, like, and
people
also,
are gonna know either way.
And at the end of the day, we were trying to redefine that term. It's such a negative, you know, and we were like, no, like being single can be so great. And I think like you said, it's just do it. And also like make sure if you're doing it with somebody that you guys are on the same page, you know, because, and that you're gonna work together well, because it could, you know, not go that way.
Yeah, of course. But I think it's like, would you rather live with the regret of not doing something?
Exactly.
Or live with like, hey, you know what? I gave it my all. I tried it out and it didn't work, and that's okay. You know, because I mean, from at least on my side, from just doing this, like the people that I've met along the way, like holy shit, like I would have never even thought like I would interact with some of the people that I've interacted with, conversations that I've had on social media. I mean, the lessons I've learned, it is actually crazy by just putting myself out there what has come from it, right? And it's not all about the money, it's not all about the fame or any of that, right? Like if that comes, cool. But it's so much other stuff that I think that comes with it that sometimes I think we take for granted that for like dead ass, like I would never experience it if I didn't do it.
I mean, oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, we just love doing it so much. Like, we always say it so, like, this.
I wonder if you're gonna say the same thing that I was gonna say.
We will both, like, I'll just be in bed and I'll be scrolling through our Instagram reels, and I'm like watching them, like laughing to myself. Like,
That's awesome.
like, we love doing it, and I know you do.
I do the same thing, but what I was gonna say too is that we always try to, at our events, we take a moment and we just look around and we're like, okay, we were able to do this.
Yeah.
And I think like the most rewarding thing that we've experienced is seeing the girls creating friendships with people that they met through our events or the community. And that has been like the goal from the beginning. And it's just so heartwarming. And it's like, okay, even if it's only 3 girls that just found new friend groups, like we did something. And yeah, like you were saying, it's all about taking the risk. I feel like in any opportunity I've had when I've taken the risk is where I've succeeded, because I don't want to fail. You know, there's like, there's no other choice.
Exactly.
And
you can't give yourself the option of failure, I guess you could say. I mean, obviously it could happen. It's not, but like you said, if you just don't give yourself that option and you're saying there is no plan B, like this is what I'm going to do and it's going to work. Like, it will work. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to be little failures along the way, but in the grand scheme of things, like you're going to figure it out, because people always do.
Yeah.
But also celebrating those little successes, you know,
100%.
like that, like seeing the girls come together. Like that for me was like, I don't know, it just really was so cool.
Yeah, at one of our events, you like came up to me and you were like, Lex, look around. Like, look in this room at all of these people that came to our event. And it's true, like you have to stop and really look and appreciate like what you've done.
I do.
But
that's a good sense of awareness from you guys too, because not a lot of people will do that. You got to celebrate the small wins. If not, you're going to burn yourself out.
Yes.
We're also very lucky though. I feel like we have such an incredible support system with our family and friends. Like truly, our friends are always there supporting. They're like, you know, married, have kids.
No, like my pregnant sister, she's like 8 months pregnant at the club for our event, you know?
So
That's
I
awesome.
think surrounding yourself by good people too will always help you in achieving whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, very true. All right, so let's get into some of the fun questions.
The juicy stuff.
I guess the first question we can get into is like, I don't even know if you've been asked this question before, so I'm trying to think of the best way to ask it. But what is actually one of the things you enjoy about being single?
Oh, I mean, so much.
So much.
I always say, like, these are the selfish years where you can do whatever you want. You don't have to, not that you need to ask a guy for permission, but like you have to coordinate your schedules.
You have to take into account the other person.
Of course,
exactly.
right.
Like whatever you want to do, you can do. Yeah. And I think for me, like that's the big thing, because I'm so in my routine. I love doing like my routine. And when you start dating someone, like that changes. So I think that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. And also, I mean, I love traveling. And I love being able to just decide, okay, I'm gonna buy a flight for 2 weeks and just go and not really have to like talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
That's big for me. And also like, I don't know, being able to be with your friends and enjoying this time. I really try to remind myself like I will have the rest of my life to be married with kids. And yes, I want that. And I think you can want that, but also enjoy where you're at. And that's, I feel like where I'm at, like I'm like, I kind of like my freedom.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the big thing, like just enjoying where you are in your life, like not wanting to have like maybe what someone else wants. Like maybe they want what you have. You know, it's not always, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
And we always say too, we enjoy where we're at so much that it takes a really special person, like our person, to come in and want us to change that. And we're at the point in our lives where we are looking for something serious. So it's not just like, okay, I'm bored, let me date this guy. It's like, no, like I want it to be somebody special, you know? So I'm just coasting until then.
What
would you say is the biggest lesson you guys have learned from a previous relationship?
Oh man, we're gonna be here all night.
We always say this, and like literally we should put on a t-shirt. My ex told me, I'll never forget, at the end of the relationship, we were like talking about something, and he told me, you should never give a guy the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, that's
an interesting thing to say.
To tell your girlfriend, but it's true, because my personality, I'll always be like, oh, like he did this, but like, you know, you try to justify it,
right?
But it's like, no, you should never give them the benefit of the doubt. They'll show you who they are, and I think that's like probably the biggest lesson.
For me, it was definitely listen to my gut. My gut has never failed me, and I would always try to like, no, let me put it aside. Like that thought in my head, I'm like, no. And I wish every time that I didn't trust my gut, I was wrong. I found myself in a stickier situation.
It is tough to trust your gut in a relationship sometimes though, because you're
For sure.
I don't know if that's the right word, but you're blinded, emotionally blinded, I guess you could say, by the fact that like you love this person, you've been with this person, and there could be flags along the way, but it's not as easy to just say I'm going to get out, even though, like you said, your gut might be saying I got to get out. But I think there's always that push over the ledge, saying like,
1,000%.
hey, you're not going to listen to me, so here you go.
I mean, what is it? Hindsight is 20/20. Like,
it's hard to see it when you're in it.
Yes, 100%.
Of course. But yeah, listening to your gut, I think, is huge.
Yeah, and having a voice, I've learned that.
Yeah, speaking up for
speaking up. Sorry, mate.
You're good.
Do you want water?
Yeah, can I grab water real quick?
Yeah, go
Thank
for
you.
it. Water break. Honestly, sometimes I'm like, I'm really dying. I need water. Are those what is it, the Stanleys?
Yeah,
of course.
Do you have one?
No, I have a Yeti.
You should. But the thing is,
convert you.
I felt it going down.
Did you get that?
That should be a reel.
Honestly, I'm like, this thing kind of feels like it's about to give, but I think we're good.
Oh no! Wait, but I think it broke up there too.
Well, no, it's just this side never had a
share swap.
had a nail. Thank you, sir.
Oh my God,
before we recorded, I'm like, I sat on it last time because it doesn't have the. Oh wow, this shit's really tall.
Is that an art project though? See, look.
Maybe we're gonna have to tell Vic like, yo, we gotta fix that one. It is, right? Does it work? No, or is my head cut out of the shot? No, as long as my head's not cut out, then I'm good.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying before I choked.
Well, we were talking about you're trusting your gut.
Oh yeah, about using your voice. I think that a lot of guys, there's some guys that don't like that, and I've learned that along the way. But it's also like you just gotta be yourself, and if something makes you uncomfortable or whatever, you kind of gotta talk about it. Communication is so big in a relationship, and there's so many guys that don't want to communicate.
I'm terrible at that.
You are?
I'm not bad about it. I definitely gotten better, especially in this relationship about it. Because it's not that I have like a problem communicating. I just feel like if it's a problem that I have, it's for me to figure out. And I think it's more of like an internal battle with me trying to identify it.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in a relationship, I feel like that's not necessarily the case. Like you have a partner to maybe figure that out together.
Yeah.
And I think that's where my communication is bad. But it is hard. And sometimes like, like you want to say it, but you don't even know how to deliver it. And if there's a way to deliver it, that's not going to hurt them. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of factors I feel like that go into it.
It's very
and
difficult.
not everybody grew up learning how to communicate.
Very true.
That's stuff that like you kind of learn at home, like feeling safe, communicating and being open. So like some people have to, like, I know my mom always says she had to teach my dad because he didn't know. He didn't grow up like that. So maybe your girlfriend can help you.
Yeah. No, she's definitely tried. She's definitely tried. And I appreciate it. I think that's part of the growth in relationships too.
For sure.
Exactly. Yeah, like where she may have I don't want to say a weakness, but a fault in her life, like I feel like I can help her, and same thing with me. Like I have so many that I definitely need her to hold me accountable, but I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Because I think there's also something to be said that like people that are too similar, I don't think it works.
Well, I like what you were saying in the sense, like it sounds like you're open to it. Like you're open to what she has to say and like receiving it, and vice versa. She probably feels like she can come to you. And I think that's probably like a big thing, that it's like just creating that safe space for somebody, like not a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to say just guys, because I'm sure that there's guys who have experienced it with girls where they feel like they can't say certain things. But sometimes
you're like walking on eggshells.
Yes, thank you. Or like the rug's gonna be pulled from under you when you say something wrong.
I think walking on eggshells is a good way to put it. Yeah, it's dangerous. Sometimes it feels like.
Yeah.
All right. So next question would be, we want to do green flags or red flags first?
Ooh,
Let's end positive.
Okay.
So let's
like
start.
that.
Let's
All
start
right, let's do.
with
What would you
red.
say are red flags in a guy? Girl single. She's looking for a guy. What are some red flags you would say?
Inconsistency. If he's inconsistent.
Explain that a little bit.
Inconsistent with like he's telling you one thing but he's showing you something else. Inconsistent with like the dates. Like if it's been 2 weeks and he's only texting you and he hasn't tried to plan another date. Probably not looking for I mean, I'm not an expert, just from my own experience, you know?
This is all personal opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's different if he's on a Europe trip, you know? You gotta be open to that. But I think that I've experienced a lot of inconsistencies, and I've noticed that even with what they say, like things don't add up sometimes. Mm-hmm. So just keeping your ears open, because I think that that's a red flag. Yeah. You can spot it pretty quickly.
I think for me, I mean, a big thing for me is not following through with things that you say you're gonna do.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, it's just my personality. Like if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So like it drives me crazy when a guy says he's gonna do something and he doesn't follow through with it.
Are there strikes to this?
No.
Or is it like a one strike?
And like we always say this, no one's perfect.
Right.
Like we're not perfect. There's no guy that's gonna be perfect. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Nobody's perfect, but I do believe that there's like somebody that's gonna match your puzzle piece, and it's just gonna work. You know, like you guys will get each other, but it takes a lot of work as well, and you've got to find somebody who's open to that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like, okay, he's great, everything's awesome. It takes a lot of work, but I think it's like, and somebody who's scared of commitment is very, very much a red flag.
Commitment's a big one.
How would you, I guess, notice that though? Because I feel like there's people that obviously could do a very good job of hiding it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Love bombing is a big thing. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
You've been out of it for so long.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
So
honestly, even if I was single, I probably
love
still
bombing,
wouldn't.
and I'm curious to know if girls do this too. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they do.
You think?
I don't know. I'm just trying to give
So
the
much
guys
energy.
the benefit of the doubt. But it's like we both experienced it, where the guy tells you like everything you want to hear right away. They move very quickly. Mm-hmm. You're so perfect. They talk future. They want all these things like after the first date. That's love bombing.
But you don't like that, right?
No, well, it's not. How you barely know me.
Right, yeah. I feel like that's like, what's the word? Like, not pushy, but like, it's like too much.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're trying to feed the narrative.
Got you. Yes, I understand what
They're
you're
trying to
saying.
romanticize it, reel you in, and then when
they're telling you all the things that you want to hear for the intent of just getting at you.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then they're like, oh no, I don't want a relationship.
Yes, then they pull back, and it's like, you know what, you're moving too quick, and it's like, wait, hold on, I was going at your pace.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I guess it's technically part of the game, essentially.
Yeah, you just gotta get
And
used
then it's
to
hard
it.
because they say, oh, like I think of my sister. When you meet the right person, things can move quickly.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, it's hard to know, like, well, are they love bombing me? Or is this like just the right person? So it's tough to...
It takes time. And going back to what you were saying about how do you realize if somebody is scared of commitment, it takes time.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
You're not gonna know right away. But there are certain things that you spot, at least for me. I was ignoring them, but they were definitely right in my face. And it was like, okay, I mean, now looking back, I'm like, well, that was a sign, and so was this, you know? So it's there.
In the moment, it's always the most difficult.
You have
to
your
see
rose-colored sunglasses on, and you don't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
But, the best thing about those types of relationships is no matter what, you're going to learn something, and you can take it into
in
your
every
future.
situation, you learn something.
Yeah.
So let's get into the green
Oh,
flags.
the green.
You go first.
I think close to their family is a big one for me.
I like that one. That's a good one.
I think the way that they treat others, like big on, like when I'm on a date, I love to see how he is to the waiter.
I could see that,
I think like wait staff, like that's huge.
Yes, I
think it's wait staff and like anybody that's like not of like this maybe like same level.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like from the custodian to just like anybody. Yeah. And I'm not trying to diminish those people at all, but like those are the people. Those people are not necessarily people that people pay attention to.
Yeah.
Right. And what I think that says is that like you're not selfish in your ways, right? It's very easy to be BFFs with the CEO or the manager of the restaurant because why? You have like a personal gain from it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas a random Joe Schmo, you don't really have any personal gain besides the fact that you're just a nice person.
For sure.
Yeah.
I also, well, we always say this, I love this. When you're walking like on the street and he moves you to go to the side that's
I was
not
gonna
with
say,
the cars.
Do you do that?
I do that.
I
See,
love that.
But all of these things go back to like family,
Right.
values, how you were raised. So I think that's like a big thing. Just like watching how somebody acts in everyday life, you'll see the type
Right.
of guy that they are.
Yeah.
That's true. When, I guess, like, when in that dating process do you say, like, okay, like, this guy is the guy?
Well, you know pretty quickly when they're not.
Right, so that's fair. I feel like not knowing is pretty easy to identify,
Yeah.
relatively
Yeah.
easy. But I feel like it's easier to just push someone away. It's a lot, at least for me, it's a lot harder to say like, okay, yes, maybe this is that person.
I don't know, because
No, but I get it.
I mean, in the moment I thought.
Well, how
but
would
then-
you go about making that decision, I guess?
I mean, I think my mom always says this, like, it'll just be easy. Things won't, like, I
Okay.
think in my past relationships, like, things would be hard. And my mom would always tell me it shouldn't be this hard. When it's the right person, things are just gonna happen very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your families will mesh easily, your lives, your schedules, like, all of that. So I think that's, like, I look for that when I date.
I think for me, I'm looking, it's like, I'll just like feel completely okay to be myself.
Yeah.
You know, like sitting across from somebody,
yeah.
like, and just that quick banter and that conversation where I feel like I'm talking, and I know that grows, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
But
It's
where it's
definitely
just
a good feeling.
yeah, like you can feel like, okay, I can be like so authentic right now and they're gonna still like me.
Yeah.
That's so nice. And vice versa. I love when somebody's just so naturally themselves. I think there's just like this level of comfort, or not comfort, I don't know if that's the right word, but naturalness that just hits that you're like, okay, like this feels really good.
Got you. And then I know we haven't talked about it, but there's obviously a physical component to all of this.
Yeah.
We can't say that looks aren't gonna have a play in all of this because we'd be lying to ourselves. There's of course a physical attraction that has to happen. How does that world work for you guys? Like, do you have a type, or is there like, I don't know, like obviously there's a stigma like the tall guy, right? And
I mean,
I think
Well, we're in
I
Miami.
do love me a tall guy.
Yeah.
But they're hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in Miami, they are hard to find. But I don't know.
I mean, we definitely, and we are good about this, about even pushing each other. We're open.
Yeah.
Like, we're very much like, you never know.
yeah, I'm big on personality.
Yes.
Like, I think a guy's
I think
personality
the
can
personality
do a
will
lot.
exactly will make
Yes.
someone look a lot more attractive.
For sure.
I mean, not to say that they're not attractive, but
And
yeah,
also, like-
you have like a glow to you when you have that persona.
Yeah,
1000%.
and you guys are so, like, on the apps, guys are awful with pictures. So, like, I feel like I look at a guy and I'm like, okay, like,
You have to
he's
squint a little,
probably
like,
better in person because like, you're not the best with pictures. So you can't just go off of looks. You
Yeah.
can't, because a guy can be like the most attractive person
Of
ever,
course.
but they have the worst personality.
Right.
But if we
So-
were to go by looks, what's your type?
I always say my celebrity crush is, oh my God, what's his name?
That's a good way to go
but come
about
on.
it, I guess.
What's
Chris
his name?
Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
Girl.
No, that's fair.
A beard, tall, like light eyes.
Well, we can't go based off of my celebrity crush because my celebrity crush is Steven Tyler,
Who is I'm very bad with actors. So.
the lead singer of Aerosmith.
Oh, there you go.
He's
Oh,
like a corpse.
got you. Yes. Okay.
He's
back in his heyday.
no.
Yes,
We
I know
can't go
exactly
based
who he
off
is.
of that,
Yeah.
but
That's the type.
I like that type, but that's
Okay.
not probably the type that I would
Gotcha.
essentially go for. I love his personality. That's the thing.
Okay.
Oh.
But my type, I think, I definitely usually go younger.
You like
I like a boyish look in a man. I like a little
I feel like that's hot right now. Like
yeah, like I love a dimple. I do love a dimple.
Dimple.
That will but I'm open, honestly, like I'm just like, you never know. I mean, the last few guys that I've been on date with, like
Sometimes it
they're
doesn't-
men.
yeah.
that's always I
That's
always
always-
remind
it
her
is
that.
funny.
Like you can have a picture of the guy that like it's happened to me a couple times. I'll go
Yeah.
on a date with a guy and I'll tell her like he has all of the things that I'm looking for. But like when I picture the guy that I'm with, like it's not him.
I'm like, that's life.
Yeah, I mean,
You.
you can't force it. That's for
You
sure.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You could try to check all the boxes along the way, but if you just don't have that chemistry and connection
That's
with
a
that
big
person,
thing.
it's
That
just not
chemistry.
gonna work.
Yeah.
I think the chemistry thing is something you kind of discover early too.
1000%.
We always say, like, do you want to kiss him?
Well,
because if the answer is no, then it's like, that's not going to change.
That's true. That's a good way to put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'll be like, I did not want him to kiss.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like you either, yeah, exactly. Like if
Yeah.
you're 2 weeks in and you're like been talking and going on dates and you have zero urge to kiss, then it's like,
No.
Yeah.
that's definitely not gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
That's fair. I don't know. Do I have any other questions? Any questions from the crowd?
From the audience?
No, nothing.
Well, can we turn it back on you?
Yes, please. That's what I was about to ask you guys.
Okay.
Now ask me.
Oh,
So for you, I mean, obviously you've been in a relationship for 3 years, but what were you going into the relationship looking for, if that makes sense?
So I think that's a tough question to answer, in the fact that what I was looking for then is not necessarily maybe what I would look for now if I was single. I just wanted someone, that was going to be supportive of me and what I was doing. I think that was like a big thing for me. Very supportive, welcoming to the idea. Like it comes with what comes with the territory of like putting yourself out there on social media and like building a brand and things like that, because that does come with sacrifice. It just comes with like uncomfortable situations. So just the openness and the transparency, I think, was always good. Like I'm a person that if I feel like I'm tied down in a relationship and like can't do the things I want to do, I will leave it, because I'm a free bird and I want to do the things that I want to do. I'm not going to do anything to justify my relationship. I'm going to always be respectful of my partner in the process of it. And I felt like at that time, that's what I was looking for. And to this day, I think I still look for it. So I think that are two big qualities that I like. And then I'm really, really big into someone that's independent and someone that's confident.
Yeah.
I think those are two big things that I care about, because in the long run of a relationship, I feel like those are things that will end up kind of like biting you in the ass. Even if you have all the chemistry in the world, even if you have, the physical attraction and all that. But if you're aspiring to live your life, I'm a big believer that like everybody, even though you're in a relationship, should still have their own identity in a relationship.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people sometimes lose in a relationship, is they lose their identity and they kind of like become one in the same. And that's like something I'm a big no on. Not to say that for some people it works, but like me personally, so like always having a partner that has their self-identity. I'm gonna be their biggest supporter, as like I expect them to be my biggest supporter, and you go do what it is that you want to do in your life, because I think that's just gonna make a happier relationship in the long run. Because then what happens is like, if I'm doing all these amazing things and you're just kind of like tagging along for me, at one point you're gonna be like, damn, like what am I doing for me? And that will crush a relationship. I think people forget that like relationship is not supposed to last a year or two. It's technically supposed to last a lifetime, right? You got to think about those things. And I don't think those are all qualities that you're going to find in the beginning. I think as your relationship matures, you discover some of those things. But I think you have to be very aware of them in the process, because if not, like you're probably destined for something that's not going to work in the long run. But
and I think that comes with age too. Like I think that's another reason why we're kind of lucky to be dating, I guess, at our age, because as you grow up, you realize what you want and what you don't, and then you become like your own person. So you're confident in yourself and like what you want, so that when someone comes into that, like you're not depending on them or like their identity, like you were saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think at the end of the day, we have like our own destiny in this life, and it shouldn't be taken away from you because of your partner. To me, that's not like a healthy relationship. So I think that's something, if you can, I feel like you could figure that out a little bit too, like that codependency thing. Like I don't know, that doesn't float my boat well. So I think that's a red flag, but also on the opposite side, like a green flag if you're not that person.
So you had asked us, how do we know when it's the right guy? How did you know?
I think it was that. Like I remember having events that I was having, and she would show up, You know, I would always have a good time when I was around her, laughing. Just felt kind of like what you were saying, natural. It felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Those were all things in the beginning of like when we were dating, I guess you can say, that I could feel was right. She was also very independent. I always respected that. But I think the biggest thing was like just a level of comfort that I felt around her, and the level of support that I felt from her were the big things. I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously you're not single, but do you have single friends?
I do.
I was gonna
yes.
ask that.
Okay, well, for our girls who are listening, what is something maybe that you've seen from your friends or you've heard from them that girls should take into account when a guy's not interested? Like, because like girls will talk, like we were talking about it the other day. I'm like, is it bad to ghost after one date? Like, I don't think it's that bad. Like, you know, are there things that guys talk about that girls should know or like keep in mind? Like, okay, if he's doing this, it's because he doesn't want to hang out.
Yeah.
Like, for example, guys will always say like, oh, I'm so busy.
Well, yeah.
I'm so busy. And they pull away. And it's like, we're all busy.
That's
so
a
that's
stupid
an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an excuse. You make I'm a big believer. You make the time for the people
Of
and
course.
place. Even down to my friends. Like,
For sure.
if a friend's like, dude, I just been so tied up, blah 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 blah. I'm like, listen, I'll continue to reach out because I'm a big believer in like keeping relationships close, you know, because I think it's important. But like going to the excuse of like I'm busy, like that's BS because you make time for the people that you want to see, especially like
A
in
new
a
relationship.
partner.
Yeah.
You know, like goddamn, like if you're
Yeah.
already complaining like that, then like screw that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most of the time, they're not even doing anything.
No, of course not.
Like-
They can't be that busy.
What are you doing?
I'm like, you know, most of my time is consumed by my girlfriend. So if I was single, I would actually open up a lot of the time. Like, that's definitely a BS excuse for sure.
Yeah.
But to go to your question about like the single guys that are out there, I mean, he's single, so maybe
you are?
yeah, maybe he can.
Come to one of our events.
Yes,
Seriously, where have you been?
Now he knows.
Loca?
Now he knows.
Loca,
You got-
where have you been?
They're out there. They're open to the public.
How is it for you?
Yeah, like what's
I mean,
your
let's
dating
turn it around.
experience like, you know? Is
You
it
want the
rough
mic?
for you, like for a guy? Because like I feel like,
Like, are you on the apps?
You want the mic?
Like,
Let's get on the mic. Come here.
come here.
Get in the hot
oh my god. No, it's okay. I'm ready to talk.
Okay, I'm surprised you've kept this secret for so long.
I know, we've only been sitting here for like,
Okay,
No one's asked, you know?
so
I'm just doing my thing.
are you on the apps?
Like a little bit, yeah. Like I'm not like super like investing in them, but like they're just there.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt to have them. That's what I
Yeah.
always say.
she has them, I don't. I'm like, I need to meet somebody out in the
I
wild.
just like I can't help but get FOMO. That would be ideal, but like I'm just like it doesn't hurt to have it there because you never know.
Great relationships that have been formed from the
How does it feel?
For
back
sure.
Feels great.
there? It's darker back there.
So how are the apps for guys?
I would say like it's all dependent on the person. Like some people like, I think it depends on your personality. Like some people are like more outgoing and they're like, I guess more willing to take risks. Cause like when you're on the app, like obviously you're kind of taking a risk because you never really know who's on the other side.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, I mean, I'll say like I had my experience where like it wasn't really like the same person. I was like, oh, like
Catfish.
Oh.
yeah, kind of in a sense, yeah.
That is a
kind
real
of a
thing.
catfish. And then like obviously like you know you just gotta like take the risk. Like I had a friend that like he was in it like it ended up being like a robot at the end of the day. It ended up being like a random
Okay,
person.
boys, you gotta ask for the Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta.
Okay,
No,
listen.
I'm
You
an-
never told me.
I am the
Oh,
She
she's
is the
starting.
FBI.
I
She
am
can
the
help
FBI.
you.
You need to get an Instagram.
Yeah.
Or like if you know the job, look on LinkedIn, don't click their profile.
You
though.
stop it. You stop it right now.
No,
man.
you need to. You need
Yeah,
to.
but like I said, like the dating apps, like I don't know, I'm more of like a social person. Like I prefer like this, like talking to people than like,
Yeah.
like I can text, but like I'm better in person. Like I hate texting. Like I'm
Me
just
too.
like I
Like,
I
call me.
can't show you who I am over text. Like if you're like,
Yeah.
I know it's like too far. Be like, yo, FaceTime me so you can see how I actually
Oh,
talk.
you like to FaceTime. Guys love
Girls are not FaceTime girls.
No, I'm
like,
saying for example, like I'll text until we get to a point where I can like take her on a date and like she can see who I
phone
am.
calls are good.
Yeah,
no,
like
I
our
do.
phone
I
calls,
don't
yeah.
mind a FaceTime, but like
Yeah.
I need to be prepared.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I wouldn't just call her randomly. I'd be like, listen, like, let's FaceTime. Like I'm gonna be like on the road and stuff. Like we can FaceTime.
Yeah. A guy the other night, remember, it was like 10 something. He's like, hey, can I FaceTime you in a few? I'm like, no.
No, you gotta give him time to prepare. I get that.
I literally sent her a picture of
No.
my retainer on in my pajamas. Like, you're not
Like,
FaceTiming
where's the level of
me.
respect? There's no level of respect
Where's
there.
the
Like,
respect?
At least a 20-minute warning. At least.
Thank you.
At
Yeah,
least
but also,
20.
like, at that time, I'm not putting makeup on.
No, but like 20 minutes gives you enough time.
Yeah, we need to put it in the calendar. We always say
Yeah.
that. Like, tell me in advance.
The girls are planners.
So you need like a day warning before like a day.
Oh,
before?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the crazy part is like after you're in a relationship.
Oh, you don't care?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Are looking at it plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have retainer on.
You're looking at the ceiling, like.
Yeah, but like the dating apps, like yeah,
Kidding.
dating apps, it's like 50-50. Like
Okay, so then you should come to our events.
I know.
yes. Well, I didn't know about you guys until Andre told me. And I was like,
Okay.
Okay, you've
Well,
got to come to our next one.
Friday's event is for the girls.
Yes.
It's like a
Okay.
dinner party. But the next one, I expect to
We
see you
really
there.
want to
Well,
like.
if we do a tailgate one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would
we need to
be,
do.
Yeah.
What, August, September?
I don't know, boys. When's football season?
a little bit August, like late.
September.
But
Yeah,
that's
like August,
college
September.
or
everything.
That would be NFL. We could do college too.
Well, at
I
that
just
point,
need to
college.
wherever the guys really want to
yeah.
go.
This is your area of expertise.
Dolphins?
Dolphins.
We're not
Really?
doing UM1.
Okay.
Oh,
Why?
by
Are
the
you
way.
not a UM guy? Are you not a Cape?
Well, look, now they're on camera. I went to UM too and I studied broadcast journalism.
Oh my God! No way.
Yeah. When did you
Were we in the
graduate?
same class?
I don't know.
At
I
any
graduated
point?
2021.
When did I graduate? No, I graduated in 2018.
Okay, no,
We
but
might
like,
have- yeah.
I was with Treadwell, Julby.
Oh my God, I love Treadwell. Oh my
You
God,
like-
I love her.
Yeah, so I was gonna like now here like I just like by the way like I was in the same school like
Yeah,
you
she was like so tough on everybody.
Were you on
and I would
News
just
Vision?
like joke with her. Yeah,
yeah
I did the fashion segment.
I ran sports desk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I ran sports desk when I was a
Wow.
Look
No,
at
I'm
this.
telling
Oh my
you.
God. Thank God we got you a mic.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Thank
Yeah.
God. We were hiding you back there.
I mean, like that's just because that's my position, but I love being
course.
on camera. Like I love like I have like a very like outgoing. I'm very outgoing. Like
Okay, well, we can have you on the pod too.
I know.
okay, yeah, let's do it.
Double duty.
It's good.
Okay, so we expect to see you at an event.
I got you.
And follow us. And when we do,
Well, listen, do
When-
not yell at me. First
when
off,
we
don't yell at
do-
me. First things, don't
and
yell
for your
at me.
followers as well, when we do Q&As, like asking guys things, please respond.
By the way, look,
You do,
now that
you
we're
do.
here, no,
And you write beautiful messages.
responses
No,
are
look,
beautiful.
now that I'm here, I have a question.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So I have a question. So, like, this is a debate I feel like a lot of single guys have is when you take a girl out to eat, do you sit across from each other or do you sit next to
Oh,
her?
God.
Oh, we did this.
Please don't say
I went on a date last night and we sat next to each other.
Oh, God,
It was
no.
a
I
cringe.
feel like
You sit
next to
across.
each other is...
You sit across.
Sit across.
Yeah, I would never be like, why you sit
Unless
next?
we're
Like,
at a
I'm not gonna be
movie.
like no, like
Yeah.
eye contact.
Yeah,
Like,
it's better across.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Across. Any other questions? Because I'm
But
glad
like you have
we
to tell the
got-
camera.
I
You have to
know.
tell your camera
I'm
across.
glad we
Across, you
Well,
guys.
he's
It's
been-
easier.
Oh, the camera. I thought you meant him.
No, he's fine.
Okay. Yes, boys. Across.
Across is better.
Okay.
And the boys, I don't know what you guys think. The boys always pay. For the
Absolutely,
first,
yeah.
At least the first.
I believe in
Do you like
chivalry.
it when a girl offers?
So
This is.
look, I'm always gonna pay.
Uh-huh.
But like if a girl offers, like you just like it's kind of like how you see like it's like those subtle things. You're like okay, like at least I know that she's not like
I would say
Okay.
for first date, don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay either way.
Okay.
Like the expectations
Like, you
are
appreciate
there.
it.
It'd be nice.
Okay.
I don't think it's a necessity.
Yeah.
But if we've gone like on 3 dates and you haven't even offered to pay once, I'm gonna be like,
Okay, because I always.
I'm gonna think about it.
For me, that's my first sign of thinking like okay, like will this go number 2? Like if she's like oh look I can help you out, like no don't worry about it. It's not like at least her
Okay.
offering like it's like a good feeling.
Okay.
Even
I
though I'm always
offer-
gonna pay. Like
I
I'm
offer,
always.
but I'm scared that they're gonna think if I'm into them that I'm like kind of friend zoning. So I get
No.
like, cause like, okay,
No, you
so
just
it's
have
okay.
you have good
I mean, also
manners.
depends,
Okay,
like,
okay.
You're just brought up well. You're like,
Okay.
you're like you,
Yeah.
but like even then, like I think a guy should always pay for the first date. How about opening car doors?
Of
Please,
course.
it's so
Okay.
nice. It's such a nice.
Girls love that. You open the door.
I'm
The
just
restaurant
asking
door, the
because
car
I feel
door.
like that's like it's like kind of like a dying like.
It is a dying
thing.
Something I could do without is the chair. You know, like you guys like
Oh,
hold
yeah.
it and then you gotta like scoot the chair.
But like, are you okay? But like opening the car door on all occasions, like if you're going out, or like let's say like I'm just picking you up to go get McDonald's.
No, you get out of the
I open the
car.
car,
Okay.
I open the car door for my mom.
Oh,
Yeah, that's your
beautiful.
mom.
Yes.
That's your mother. I'll do the same
I
for my
feel
mother.
like that should be like
Yeah.
all the time thing.
Yeah, no, you should get
Okay.
out of the car and open her door.
I'm just asking because I want
It
to know
is
the
nice.
opinion on
It's
it.
really nice.
Because I feel
Any
like
other
some
questions?
girls.
I love
I
this.
mean, like, this is my experience. I feel like a lot of girls are like in the independent area, so it's like, don't,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
do it myself. Don't do it for me.
No, I love a gentleman.
I love
So-
a guy opening my door.
Yeah, so like I feel like the gentleman breed is like, oh, like I'm
Yeah, we're
independent,
very
like,
old school.
and it's like I
Yeah.
feel like some like There was one time where a girl was offended that I paid for her, and she was like,
Oh.
"How dare you?" I'm like, "I mean, dude, like it's not that deep. Like I'm just."
No,
paying for you."
that's crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Most
chivalry is
girls-
not dead.
Honestly, even in our polls, like girls want the guys to pay. They're
Okay.
just scared to say it. Like
Girls, I will pay for you. I promise. Wherever you want to go, I'll pay for you.
that should be on your. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna attract the wrong
And I'll
people.
open your car door.
And I'll open your car door
Every time.
and I'll sit across from you.
Oh my God! Should we make a profile on SGF for him? The girls will go crazy.
Daniel with a Y. Daniel. Daniel, if you want to be exotic about it.
I have a question.
What's up, Bob?
No, but I want to.
Oh, you guys sit down. Thank you for having
is
me on,
musical
guys. I
chairs.
appreciate you.
Last question. And I mean, this could probably be an episode in itself, but like horoscopes.
I've been dying to ask you, but I don't want guys to be
Okay.
like, oh my God, what's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
You
knew
give
it.
Leo energy.
And your
Yeah,
girlfriend?
Aries, April 6th. Aries, I believe.
I think that's an Aries.
Yes, it is because that's Isa.
I'm
Yeah.
like
That's a
90%.
strong mix.
If both fire signs.
Ooh. I don't know.
Libra.
I was gonna say that too.
I'm a Cancer.
A
Oh,
Cancer.
okay. So your birthday
I don't.
just passed.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't know many Cancers. Leos are.
Strong personalities.
Yeah, I'm a textbook Leo too.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow, your
I'm
girlfriend
like-
stayed around.
I know.
You're in the right profession.
But she likes the fire sign, so
Well, apparently Leos and Geminis, I think, are like my zodiac match, and those are strong.
yes.
I could see you. Yeah. I could. But,
But
you're
like,
strong.
I'm pretty
so
strong. My sister says I need like a mellow guy because I'm like a little.
I don't know what I
No.
need.
I know. God knows. God knows.
Some people are like sacrilegious about that. Like they,
Zodiacs?
like they make their decisions off of
Oh,
like.
no, but I
no,
always
no.
like to know.
No, I
Like,
think
I
there's
feel
a
like-
rhyme or reason to it a little bit.
Yeah,
You
some
know,
people are like dead on with their
Yeah.
zodiac, so it's always like
Exactly.
fun to know what they
Yeah,
are.
no, I don't base my decisions off of it.
No.
It's just fun. Like I personally just like to see if people match their traits.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I'm a Scorpio and there's definitely things that I match, perfectly. And then there's other things that it's like, no, that's super off.
Yeah.
So I try not to judge anybody by
Fair. I
their
agree.
sign.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I was just curious.
It's just fun.
But yeah, I think that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you guys for coming
Thank you.
on. Very
It was
fun. Very fun.
fun.
Definitely could do this again for sure.
Well, it'll be on SGF.
Yes,
So
100%.
Yes,
Super down.
and single guys, please follow us.
Yes.
Please,
follow.
and
And
Come to our
come to our
events.
events.
and
There's
answer
definitely
our
a-
polls and
Answer our
question
polls.
boxes.
Yeah,
Got
because
you.
we would love to do speed dating, like things like that,
Yes.
but we
Fun.
need to get the ratio up.
Yeah, I'm
because,
with you.
You know, so.
Yeah,
You got an extra guy now. So there you go.
I know. Thank God. Bring your friends
I'm
too.
gonna look for you.
Yeah.
she's a detective. She'll find you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thank you again for coming on,
Thank
and
you.
we
Thank
will
you.
see you guys on the next one.